What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Early Edge. Unusual circumstances today. I think you're seeing us on video. You're definitely hearing us on the Early Edge podcast. StreamYard obviously having issues, so we're coming at you at the same time, but it's not technically live. So let's just get right into the show. We've got Mackenzie Brooks, we've got Buckets, we've got Erik Kuselias, and we've got a recap screen that says 5-4, which is pretty good, but honestly, Mackenzie Brooks, the recap screen feels like it's better than 5-4. Can you explain why early edge primetime style?
Yeah, well, you see a 2-2 there, 2 for 2 there for me for the player props. But so we hit both player props last night. We get our first gem with our first touchdown scorer. Shout out CD Lamb, 11-1. Not very happy that it was a Cowboys player as an Eagles fan, but I digress. We'll take what we can get. And we hit all three of our anytime touchdown props as well. CD Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and Jamar Chase. So just a winning night, which honestly is a little terrifying going into the next day. You never know how that's going to go after you're on a heater, but we shall see with a little college basketball.
It must be nice coming into the Tuesday show. 2 for 2, hitting all the anytime touchdown props and the first touchdown score. EK, haven't seen you in at least a week. How you doing today?
Everything's great. Looking forward to it. It was a good night for us as well last night. Yeah, it was kind of like everybody was sort of on that public. There's going to be a lot of points. There's going to be a lot of yards. The big players are going to play well, and they came in. So that was nice. We had the Brandon Aubrey over 1.5 field goals. We had Cincinnati in the first half. And then at halftime, we hammered Rico Dowdle over on the rushing yards. It was way too low. So it was a good night as well.
Absolutely love to hear that. Yeah, I thought there were going to be more overall points, too. Things kind of slowed down. Cooper Rush pretty bad in the second half. Buckets, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. We kept the interception train moving. I was on Cooper Rush yesterday at minus 138 there on Twitter.
Unbelievable.
I mean, this is truly unbelievable.
Yeah, I got to tell you real quick. So I posted Cooper Rush interception, and this person sent me a novel talking about how poor the Bengals defense was and how I don't understand how zone play works and how there's no chance there's going to be an interception. And I literally sent him a video of me flipping a coin. Like, it's out of my control. I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
Unbelievable. Well, I'm sure if we had a chat today, this is the one day we don't have a chat. If we did, there'd be a lot of banter about
the fact that someone tried to jab at you for being like, you don't know football. Yeah, I have publicly.
I know I don't.
Yeah, that's the joke.
Times.
Yeah. Speaking of jokes, I do miss the chat on a day where EK is here, where I'm sure there are people in the chat saying Happy Halloween or Happy Thanksgiving, something of that sort. All right.
Well, I gave you a T-shirt for a team that doesn't exist anymore as sort of an inside joke.
He is wearing an Oakland A's T-shirt, everybody.
And obviously they've moved, so this sort of keeps our theme.
Yes. All right. Can't wait for next week where everybody gets to see you and we get to have a chat. I'm sure, by the way, this show will be StreamYard, I'm sure will be fixed later today. So all the other shows should be going regularly scheduled programming for that. All right. Let's get to some picks. Buckets, you've got 3. Are they all Champions League? And are there 3 picks here?
3 plays for us here today, Sia. They are all Champions League picks, and I'm going to jump right into it because we are starting with a team that Micah Richards on the Golazo Network is not allowed to talk about anymore. Stade Brest taking on PSV Eindhoven. And we're going with a really, really good bet here. PSV Eindhoven over 1.5 team total with a little bit of juice at minus 135. But that juice is absolutely worth the squeeze because Stade Brest is out of their league. They did really, really good for about a month. And then Barcelona just beat them to pieces, and PSV is going to do the same thing. Stade Brest cannot stop the counterattack, and PSV has one of the most deadly counterattacks in Champions League. For our second play, I'm going to pretend that chat is here and say Jeff Steinberg asked Buckets, do you have any thoughts on Victor Gyökeres today? Absolutely, Jeff, I do. We are going for the mad masked man, Victor Gyökeres, anytime goal scorer at plus 100. Sporting are absolutely in a funk right now, but if anyone is going to pull them out of that funk, it's going to be A, against Club Brugge, and B, it's going to be Gyökeres to do it. I love him being playable at plus 100. And then third and final play, we are going to Ukraine, where we have Shakhtar Donetsk taking on my beloved Bayern Munich. I am the resident Bayern Munich fan. I have their crest literally tattooed to my upper thigh, and so I say this with love. They're absolutely embarrassing right now. They are terrible. And I wish I could find a removal place to take this off that didn't cost me $5,000. Not to mention their starting goalkeeper, Manuel Neuer, is out until the rest of this year, at least with a broken rib. Both teams to score at plus 110 is an absolute gift because Shakhtar might score 2 here, even though they are a plus 1,500 underdog at the moment.
Wow. Some personal information from Buckets, which you love to hear. Did their downfall start when you got the tattoo, Buckets? Like,
unironically, I got the tattoo and they lost the league for the first time in 12 years. I'm not taking the blame all of it by myself, but it's kind of a tough one, not gonna lie.
Listen, that's not as bad as the Ken's meeting football player curse that I seem to have. That's like worse than the Kardashians. I've told you guys about this, right?
can you give us a singular example of that?
Carson Beck
Oh,
beat
yeah.
him,
Not
has
been
a
good.
terrible game against Florida, and then proceeds to have a season-ending injury, maybe career-ending.
Well,
So, yeah,
and then the backup came in and looked a lot better than he did, correct?
that is also true.
Yeah. Yikes. All right. Well, that's not good. If you're an athlete out there, stay away from
Stay
Mackenzie
Clear,
Brooks.
kids. Stay clear.
All right. Well, if you want to make any of those Champion League bets or any of the college basketball bets that you're about to hear from EK or Mackenzie Brooks, go to BetMGM. New BetMGM customers can sign up today and get up to $1,500 in bonus bets. Just place your first wage of at least $10, and you'll receive up to $1,500 instantly if your bet loses with bonus code EDGE. That's bonus code EDGE, EDGE. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to hear from EK and we're going to hear a lot of college basketball.
Historic rivals with unforgettable seasons meet in a game of honor. The Army-Navy game presented by USAA, December 14th on CBS.
We are back on the Early Edge, brought to you by BetMGM, the sports book born in Vegas. Buckets, go ahead.
Got one thing, Sia. Eric David in the chat said, Buckets, do you even know what sport the A's play for? So I'm going to let EK answer that for all of us, not to embarrass myself here.
Go ahead, EK. Who do the A's play for?
It is baseball. It's you know, trying to get the seat. Yeah, you get the cleats, and this is a big baseball with the, the things. So, I mean, I was trying to help you out there by showing you the logo, but this is baseball. More importantly, if I get both of my basketball picks right today, next time I'm on, will you show us the upper thigh by a new tattoo? That's all I want. I mean, I don't want to see it. I need to see it.
If EK goes 2-0 on his plays, I will, pending approval, film the next show from the waist. I'll show the tattoo.
We'll figure it out. Stand-up shot. I mean,
do
PG-13, of course, but still.
Yeah, there's a lot riding on these two games then. All right, you've got two college basketball picks, EK, and one is, it's interesting. You've got some synergy with Tom Casale, who was on the show yesterday, and he said, hey, when the Syracuse line comes out, you might want to jump on it. Well, it sounds like, EK, you jumped on it. So give us your two plays.
Yeah, you sort of have different groups of people that you can talk to and you rely on. Like if it's Cleveland Browns, I call my Cleveland guy. Yeah, my Syracuse people who don't know each other both called me yesterday, and they're like, and this is not people who like always, it's fandom where my team's always great. And it's not the other way where we stink and they're trying to emotionally hedge. And both of them were sort of like, Syracuse is going to have a really nice game against Albany. Crunch it down. So I did. You're looking for indicators in these early games. The first one is motivation here. Syracuse needs it. They've lost 4 of 5. They're at home. They're getting a little restless already. This is a keep your foot down on the pedal. We have to make a statement kind of feel. The second thing you're looking at as an indicator is some X's and O's. Albany is dreadful on the inside on defense, especially when it comes to medium range layups, going to the basket, that kind of thing. This should be a parade to the free throw line for Syracuse with a bunch of early baskets and easy baskets as well. And when I can get free throws and easy baskets with the better team at home who's motivated, I'm going to lay the 12 in this spot. That's number one. Number two, I like Michigan over Arkansas, and I'm going to lay the 4.5. Michigan is well coached. This is not Juwan Howard, who's part of the Michigan family and had some good teams, but it got weird in spots, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. Michigan is very well coached and buttoned up with Dusty May, who brought his guys and brought his philosophy. Arkansas, meanwhile, I don't like anything that's coming out of there yet. It's still raw. They're going to take their lumps. I've looked at the Cal comments. I went back and looked at the pressers with him. I'm not bitter. We're just figuring it out. It's going to be a long road early. Those guys kind of resigned himself to the fact that it's not going to be good for a while. And the one guy who is playing well in Arkansas right now is a guy who played for Dusty May last year down at Florida Atlantic, and Dusty May knows how to defend this guy and knows this is the guy I have to stop. So everything seems to check boxes for Michigan to get it done. So I'll take Michigan and I'll take Syracuse today.
I love both of these plays. I think a lot of people forget, and mostly because it's like NFL season, people aren't fully engrossed, or many people aren't fully engrossed in college basketball season yet. People forget Dusty May is now the coach of Michigan.
Exactly.
That's huge. Dusty May was great at FAU, and I wouldn't be surprised if, this is me coming from a place where I haven't studied college basketball, but I think Michigan probably plays over expectation this year just as a result of that. All right. Well, that's 2 college basketball picks. Buckets, I got to give you compliments because there's probably people listening as of 5 minutes ago that are like, wait, what is Buckets talking about Eric David in the chat? So compliments to you for referencing a chat that does not exist. I noticed Moshi in Japan really thought that was funny when you referenced both Jeff Stenberg, Steinberg, and Eric David. Go ahead, Buckets.
A lot of people did like that in the chat, but we do have John in the chat who says, why is it always Buckets? Bring on the guru. I hate this American. Seems a little bit problematic, but I'm not going to get into that too much. I do want to remind John specifically that we do have SportsLine picks on the SportsLine website for Champions League. I have 9 Champions League plays on the site today. So if you are not a member, make sure you become one if you want more plays than we've given out already.
Sportsline.com/join. Type in the promo code winners. You get 60% off the annual plan. I'll say that one more time. Sportsline.com/join. Type in the promo code winners. You get 60% off the annual plan. And if you are a Sportsline member, you got my NFL pick, which I put in about an hour and a half ago. It's the Steelers. It's the Eagles. Philly at home. Mackenzie Brooks, I don't know what you think of this, or if you were surprised by this opening line. Listen, I'm not saying the Steelers are necessarily going to win the Super Bowl. They're this great team, but a lot of people are saying that, and I think the Steelers are good. I don't think they'll have George Pickens necessarily this week, but the Eagles, a solid team, but 5.5 seems like way too many points. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on that. I noticed it was some of these books have 5.5, some of them have 5, some at 4.5, but you can get 5s pretty much everywhere. I like it at 4.5. I like it at 5. I certainly like it even better at plus 5.5. So if you can find that, that's great. I'd play this down to 4.5. Mackenzie, your initial reaction as an Eagles fan, because I'm trying to be objective here. I wonder if you can be here. I mean, don't you think this line should have opened like 4 maybe?
Yeah. I mean, this is a team, this Eagles team, and I say it with my own Georgia Bulldogs too, take the other team to cover the first half at least. I mean, that's just how the story goes for both teams, honestly, that I root for. I try to ignore the first half, knowing that things should turn around. I think this is a team that absolutely can hang around with them. I'm still this is obviously one of the best teams in football, but it's the most frustrating, successful team in football. And I could totally see the Steelers hanging around at least for that first half, covering a first half spread, maybe this being a field goal game. I do think you will definitely get a lot of steam to the Steelers. So I think it's good you got on it pretty early.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's the drama between Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. I'm not really factoring that in, but it does seem like the Eagles are tentative to throw the ball downfield. I don't know that you fix that against, of all teams, a Mike Tomlin-led Pittsburgh Steelers team and defense. EK, any thoughts before we get to Mackenzie Brooks picks? Any thoughts on this Steelers-Eagles line? Did you think the line was a little out of whack here at basically 5 universally?
The problem is that I don't like betting against these teams with these good offenses. Like Mackenzie said, they might not be great in the first half, but all of a sudden you look up and then they get one in the third quarter and then they get one to put them away in the fourth quarter. And this game ends up being, 23-17. And you're like, how did I not cover that thing when it was close the whole time? And the Eagles do have the ability to run away and hide when they get really rolling. The thing I want to really crunch is, how good is the Steeler D? Am I buying my older brother's Steeler D here and not the Steeler D that I'm seeing on the field right now? Yeah, they've had good weeks. They've gotten lit up a few times too. So I want to crunch the Steeler D. I'm not ready to make a pick. I sort of think if I was going to take the Steelers, I would want to isolate it first half, but I'm not sure I would take those points for the game yet.
Yeah, fair enough on that. All right, well, let's talk about Tuesday night. Let's get back to Tuesday night. That, of course, is a Sunday. I think that's a 4:25 game. Mackenzie Brooks, we got 2 college basketball picks from EK, but you're going to offer another 2 college basketball picks.
Yeah, and I see someone in the chat saying Ken's is so intelligent and awesome, and how does she do it all while looking so good? And that was a really kind comment, so thank you.
That was kind. That was
the same guy that commented.
His family.
That was the same guy that commented calling me fat, but that's fine, Kins. Keep going.
Yeah, just had to shout that guy out there. That was really kind. Anyway, yeah, we're going to the marquee game of the night here. Butler versus North Dakota State. And we are going Butler team total over 77.5. Butler's coming off a game against Houston, which is the third best defense in the country, and now they get to play the 298th best defense in the country in North Dakota State. This is a team that they absolutely should be able to be in a comeback spot against. 59th best offense in college basketball with their adjusted offense there. So again, this North Dakota State team allowing 82 on the road versus just 68 at home. So this is the right spot for this Butler team. Time to smack down on a defense that really just is only 5 bodies on the court, not doing too much there. SportsLine model has them projected for 84 points. And then we're going to go Penn State money line versus Rutgers here. Now, this Rutgers team, they have 2 essentially top 5 draft picks in the NBA on their roster, but they're not playing well. It's almost like a Colorado situation where like the public loves them and they love the flashiness of this team, but are they actually executing on the court? And the answer is really no. They're 5-4, while Penn State has all their veterans and they're 8-1. So I understand, why people love Rutgers. It's totally a fun team, but you look at actual record, I mean, this is totally a Penn State game here. The SportsLine model has Penn State winning 78-70. So those are the 2 hardwood plays for me.
All right. We got 2 hardwood plays. We got 4 hardwood plays, actually, 3 Champions League plays, and we've got my NFL play. More NFL to come as the week progresses. I'm really interested to see some props are out for the Thursday night game, but not all of them are out. So I'm really interested to see those props dropping. A lot of props I'm waiting for on Sunday as well. Okay, well, we don't have a traditional recap screen. We don't have a traditional, hey, Sia, go to somebody and see if there are any chat questions you need to go to. So we should probably just get right to the recap screen, but I do, because I don't have it in front of me, I do want each of you to just kind of call out your picks. Buckets, I'm going to start with you. We're going to go in the order that we went on the show. I'll actually give out my pick. It's the Steelers plus 5.5. I'd play it down to 4.5, but you can get 5s and 5.5 still out in the market. We'll go to you, Buckets, for your 3 Champions League plays.
We got PSV Eindhoven over 1.5 team total. We've got Victor Gyökeres for Sporting Lisbon, anytime goal scorer at plus 100, and Bayern Munich versus Shakhtar Donetsk, both teams to score at plus 110.
All right. And EK, we've got your 2 college basketball picks.
Syracuse at home to hammer Albany. Give the 12. I would also play the Syracuse team total over. They should score. They should give this a confidence game. And I like Michigan giving the 4.5 against Arkansas. Michigan well coached. Michigan has knowledge of Arkansas. Arkansas's best player played for the coach at Michigan last year. I like the Wolverines to get it done against Coach Cal.
All right, Mackenzie Brooks.
We're going Butler team total over 77.5. We have them projected for 84, and we have Penn State money line win outright. They're 2.5-point dogs here, but we make it an 8-point road victory for the Nittany Lions.
All right, well, those are your picks for a Tuesday. Shout out to the 3 of you for doing this on a non-StreamYard platform. We'll be back on StreamYard most likely, almost definitely tomorrow morning. All the typical SportsLine content, of course, is coming your way today, including picks if you are a member of sportsline.com. All right. Well, on behalf of Buckets, on behalf of EK, on behalf of Mackenzie Brooks, coming off a great night, and on behalf of all of you, not in the chat, but in our hearts, I'm shouting out Lori Moore, Mark Buckholtz, Brian, Matt B., John Parker, Rebecca, Moshi, Japan, all of you that are always, Jeff Stenberg, always in the chat, hitting the like button and participating. We miss you on a day like this, but we'll see you tomorrow on the Early Edge at 10. Have a great day, everybody.